Imagine this. It's a calm morning. You're at the kitchen table, cracking eggs into the pan. The aroma fills the room, and it feels like the perfect, comforting start to your day. But here's the shocking part. What if I told you that the way you cook those eggs, or even what you serve alongside them, could secretly raise your stroke risk without you even noticing? Surprising, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Eggs on their own are incredibly nutritious. They're packed with protein, vitamins, and so many benefits for your body. But here's the catch. The real danger often isn't the eggs themselves. It's the small cooking habits, the extra ingredients, and even the timing of when you eat them that can quietly turn this healthy food into a hidden risk, especially for seniors whose blood vessels are already under pressure. And that's exactly what we're uncovering today. In this video, I'll share 10 everyday egg habits that can slowly increase your stroke risk. These aren't things most people think about, but once you know them, you'll realize how small, smart changes in your kitchen can actually protect your heart and brain in a big way. If you're already curious, just drop a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to the Daily Rep for more simple but life-changing health tips. Now, let's dive right into the very first habit you need to watch out for. Many people love the richness of egg yolks. It's creamy, it's satisfying, and it feels like comfort food. But here's the problem. Eating multiple yolks every single day can silently backfire. Egg yolks are loaded with cholesterol and saturated fat. And when too much cholesterol builds up in your blood, it doesn't just float harmlessly. It sticks to your artery walls, forming plaques that narrow and stiffen those blood vessels. And here's where it turns dangerous. Those plaques can suddenly rupture, triggering blood clots that block circulation to the brain. That's exactly how many strokes begin. In fact, researchers at Harvard have linked high dietary cholesterol, especially from yolks, to increased levels of LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol. The solution isn't to ban eggs completely. It's about balance. For most older adults, 1 egg a day is safe, but piling up 3 or 4 every morning, that's when the scale tips toward risk. Instead, try 1 whole egg and load your plate with veggies or whole grains. You'll still get the flavor and protein, but without straining your arteries. Now, let's talk about another cooking habit that's even more dangerous than you think. Many people still drop a spoonful of butter or pork fat into the pan before cooking eggs. That sizzling sound feels nostalgic, but here's the truth. Butter and animal fats are packed with saturated fatty acids that thicken your blood and strain your heart. Over time, this creates the perfect setup for clots. Cardiologists have long warned that meals high in saturated fat spike LDL cholesterol, while also stiffening blood vessels. One major study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people who regularly cooked with butter or lard had a much higher risk of heart and brain problems compared to those who used plant oils. The fix? Swap the butter for olive oil, avocado oil, or even a light spray of canola oil. These healthier options give your eggs flavor without weighing down your bloodstream. A small change, but a huge difference for your heart and brain. And speaking of oils, let's talk frying. Dropping eggs into a pot of sizzling hot oil might give you that golden crisp edge, but it comes with a hidden danger. When oil is heated too high, especially if it's reused, it produces trans fats. And trans fats don't just raise bad cholesterol, they actually damage the lining of your arteries. Once that lining is weakened, clots form more easily, blocking blood flow straight to the brain. The Mayo Clinic warns that trans fats are a double threat. They raise harmful LDL while lowering the good HDL that protects your arteries. That's like blocking all the traffic lanes on a busy highway and then removing the cleanup crew. The safer move is use a fresh, plant-based oil on medium heat. You'll still enjoy fried eggs, but without coating them in artery-damaging fats. But it doesn't stop there, because the real danger comes when eggs get paired with processed meats like bacon, sausage, or ham, and that's what we'll uncover next.
The smoky flavor and salty crunch of bacon or sausage might feel comforting, but this classic breakfast combo is secretly one of the worst things you can put on your plate. Processed meats like bacon, ham, and sausage are loaded with sodium, preservatives, and nitrites. These chemicals trigger inflammation inside your arteries, making them stiff and brittle. Over time, that constant inflammation weakens the vessel walls, making them more likely to tear or rupture under pressure. Now add the cholesterol from egg yolks into the mix, and you've created the perfect storm for a stroke. The World Health Organization has even linked processed meat to higher rates of heart and vascular disease, largely because of nitrites and excess salt. Sodium itself is a huge enemy for older adults. It forces the body to hold on to extra fluid, raising blood pressure little by little, day after day. The good news? You don't need to sacrifice flavor. Instead of pairing your eggs with processed meats, try avocado slices, sautéed spinach, or even roasted turkey breast. You'll still feel full and satisfied without forcing your arteries to suffer. But the danger doesn't stop there, because while salt in processed meat is already harmful, the moment you sprinkle extra salt directly onto your eggs, you're making things even worse. And let's not forget cheese. Melting a slice of cheese over warm eggs feels like the ultimate comfort food. The creamy texture, the flavor, it's hard to resist. But most processed cheeses are packed with sodium, and that makes them a hidden danger. Salt forces your body to hold on to more fluid, which increases blood volume. More blood volume means higher pressure inside your arteries. And if that pressure keeps rising day after day, the tiny vessels in your brain become fragile. One sudden spike and they can rupture without warning, causing a stroke. Research from the American Heart Association confirms that older adults who eat high-sodium diets face a much higher risk of hypertension, and hypertension is the #1 driver of stroke in the US. So while that morning omelet with cheddar might seem harmless, it's actually pushing your body closer to crisis. The safer alternative? Flavor your eggs with fresh herbs like basil, parsley, or dill. Even a pinch of black pepper or a squeeze of lemon adds taste without the sodium overload. And if you really want cheese, go for a small portion of low-sodium cottage cheese or mozzarella. You'll still get that creamy richness, but without sending your blood pressure through the roof. And speaking of eggs in the morning, let's talk about another hidden risk: runny yolks. Sunny-side-up eggs with that golden yolk spilling over toast look delicious, but here's the catch. When yolks are only half cooked, the cholesterol inside them becomes unstable. Once inside your body, it oxidizes quickly, and oxidized cholesterol is far more dangerous. Instead of moving gently through your bloodstream, it sticks aggressively to artery walls, forming hard plaques that block circulation. What makes this even riskier is timing. Blood pressure naturally rises in the morning after sleep. Combine that surge with sticky, oxidized cholesterol, and the chance of a clot forming skyrockets. The Cleveland Clinic reports that oxidized cholesterol accelerates atherosclerosis, the narrowing and hardening of arteries. That's why eating runny yolks every morning builds up a silent danger inside your circulation. The safer move? Cook your yolks until they're firm and limit how many you eat at once. Pair them with fiber-rich foods like oats or vegetables to balance cholesterol levels. That way, you still enjoy your eggs without giving your arteries such a heavy burden. But let's be honest, salt isn't just hiding in cheese or bacon. For many people, reaching for the salt shaker has become second nature. A sprinkle on scrambled eggs, another shake on fried eggs, and suddenly your breakfast is a sodium bomb. The problem? Salt drives your blood pressure higher, straining delicate brain vessels. Over time, those vessels weaken, and one sudden surge can make them burst. The CDC reports that older adults in the US consume almost double the recommended sodium intake, and high blood pressure remains one of the top causes of both ischemic and hemorrhagic strokes. You may not feel the damage right away, but it builds slowly, like cracks spreading in a water pipe, until one day it bursts. But here's the good news again. Flavor doesn't have to come from salt. Fresh herbs, dill, thyme, parsley, even a dash of pepper or squeeze of lemon can give your eggs incredible taste without sodium. Small swaps like these help you enjoy your favorite breakfast while protecting your blood pressure. And if salt is a sneaky problem, sauces and spreads are even trickier. A spoonful of mayonnaise, a pat of butter, or a swirl of cream may make your eggs creamier and richer, but the hidden cost is steep. All three are loaded with saturated fats, and sometimes even trans fats. These fats make your blood thicker and harder to move, while also robbing your arteries of flexibility. Stiff arteries plus sticky blood. That's the perfect setup for a clot to block circulation to your brain. A National Institutes of Health study found that trans fats not only raise harmful LDL cholesterol, but also lower protective HDL cholesterol. That 1-2 punch means plaque builds faster, and your natural defenses are weaker. It's like driving on a highway with more roadblocks and fewer cleanup crews. Eventually, traffic comes to a stop. And for older adults whose blood vessels are already aging, the risk is even greater.
The answer isn't to abandon taste. Replace mayonnaise with mashed avocado. Choose olive oil in place of butter, or soften your scrambled eggs with a little milk rather than cream. These small substitutions let you keep the comfort without overloading your blood vessels. And while creamy sauces pose their own problems, even the bread served with your eggs can quietly increase the risk. An egg sandwich may appear to be a simple and harmless breakfast, but the bread you select changes everything. White bread, the soft and fluffy kind, is created from refined flour. This type of flour has a very high glycemic index, meaning it transforms into sugar in your bloodstream almost instantly. That sudden spike in sugar may not feel like trouble at first, but what follows is a rapid crash. These quick rises and falls place heavy stress on the delicate inner lining of arteries, wearing them down gradually. When you combine that subtle damage with the cholesterol from fried eggs, the likelihood of plaque buildup and clot formation climbs dramatically. Research from the American Diabetes Association confirms that refined carbohydrates such as white bread speed up vascular aging and raise the risk of stroke, especially among older adults. It works like slow wear and tear on fragile plumbing. Day after day, these sugar swings leave vessels weaker until one day they can no longer withstand pressure. That is when a clot or rupture can strike unexpectedly. The straightforward adjustment is to replace white bread with whole grain bread. Whole grains digest at a slower pace, keeping blood sugar stable and circulation stronger. Eating eggs with fiber-rich bread balances cholesterol levels and delivers longer-lasting energy. It is a modest change that makes breakfast much safer. And while bread is one challenge, the timing of egg consumption also hides certain dangers. For many people, eating late at night feels soothing. Eggs often appear to be an easy, harmless snack. Yet consuming them just before sleep can quietly increase stroke risk. When you sleep, circulation and metabolism naturally slow. That means the fats from eggs, especially yolks, stay in your blood longer instead of being broken down efficiently. Over time, these fats can attach to artery walls, adding to plaque deposits. Because blood flow decreases at night, clots also form more easily. The most threatening moment usually arrives in the morning, when blood pressure rises sharply and those clots can suddenly cut off blood supply to the brain. Specialists at Johns Hopkins report that nighttime eating of high-fat foods in older adults raises lipid levels in the blood and harms vascular health. For seniors with less flexible arteries, this creates a dangerous combination. Imagine highway traffic slowing almost to a stop at night and then facing the heavy rush hour surge the next morning. The risk of a jam is far greater. That is exactly what may occur inside your circulation. If you feel hungry before sleeping, choose something gentler, such as a small bowl of oatmeal or a banana. These options digest quickly and do not leave fat circulating overnight. Saving eggs for breakfast or lunch, when the body is most active, offers stronger protection for both heart and brain. And now that we have reviewed all of these habits, it is time to tie everything together with a thoughtful conclusion. We have walked step by step through 10 everyday habits involving eggs that can quietly elevate stroke risk. The truth is that it is not about removing eggs altogether. They can still fit within a healthy lifestyle. What matters is the way they are prepared, the food served with them, and the timing of when they are eaten. Small but consistent decisions safeguard your arteries, stabilize your pressure, and preserve mental sharpness for many years. Consider it this way: every meal is another opportunity to care for yourself. By exchanging butter for olive oil, selecting whole grain bread, or eating eggs earlier in the day, you are doing more than making food. You are shaping a healthier future for your body. These improvements not only benefit you, they also comfort the people who care about you. As you continue forward, keep in mind that protecting your circulation and your mind begins in your own kitchen. Stay mindful, remain curious, and continue choosing foods that help you live with strength. If this video gave you helpful insights, I would appreciate it if you subscribed to the Daily Rep and shared it with someone else who may find it valuable.